Went through some pretty traumatizing events.
I stayed at his house. I stayed in his bedroom.
How old were you?
I was 15, and I remember him just sitting down with me, being like, this is kind of like what you got to do, Aaron, in your future.
When I was about 15 years old, through some pretty traumatizing events.
A lot of people come up missing. Feels like it might be a lot of that in order to control, traumatize. They want to monetize and traumatize.
I went through some pretty traumatizing events. I stayed at his house. I stayed in his bedroom. How old were you? I was 15, and I remember him just sitting down with me. Being like, this is kind of like what you got to do, Aaron, in your future. And could Diddy be behind Aaron Carter's tragic death? Got bad when I was about 15 years old. Explosive new evidence suggests a sinister connection between the fallen pop star and one of Hollywood's most powerful figures was Aaron silenced for knowing too much. I went through some pretty traumatizing events. And why did Aaron reach out to Kanye West just before his death? Could Kanye's chilling claims about a Hollywood handler connected to Aaron's demise hold the key? A lot of people come up missing. Feels like it might be a lot of that. In order to control, traumatize, they want to monetize and traumatize, with new reports suggesting the feds are examining Diddy's alleged connections to multiple suspicious deaths. One question looms large: did Aaron Carter know too much? There's been a lot of buzz recently about Aaron Carter's unexpected death, and some theories are even tying it to Diddy. Reports suggest federal investigators are digging into Aaron's case, especially his past links to Diddy. Word has it they're planning to update Diddy's indictment with additional charges. They're also looking into other mysterious deaths tied to Diddy, including Iran's, who passed away on November 5, 2022, just a day after Diddy's birthday. Where a pop star, Aaron Carter, has died at the age of 34. The troubled performer grew up in the limelight, but he was in and out of rehab several times in his short life. Aaron Carter, once a teen sensation and younger brother of Nick Carter from the Backstreet Boys, faced a lot of struggles after his early fame. His battles with mental health and addiction have been widely talked about, and it seems a lot of his issues traced back to some disturbing events during his career. Now old photos of Aaron hanging out with Diddy have resurfaced, sparking questions and suspicions you regret ever getting involved in. I didn't have a choice. It got bad when I was about 15 years old. Many fans are wondering if Aaron could have been one of Diddy's youngest victims, but there's more to this story. Before his death, Aaron was making waves online, hinting that he had dirt on some powerful figures in the entertainment world. He posted cryptic messages on social media, and just days before his body was found in a bathtub, Aaron reached out to Kanye West asking for a private conversation. What is your opinion of what's been going on with Kanye? I've been on the fence about Kanye for a minute, but in my opinion right now Kanye is stupid as. But here's where things get even more bizarre. Kanye later claimed that Aaron's death was orchestrated by Harley Pastek, his former personal trainer. According to Kanye, Patek has ties to MK Ultra and might be working as a handler for celebrities. Kanye even said Patek once threatened him with institutionalization, adding another layer to the already tangled web of conspiracy. Carter and now they acting like anyone. Clear a Backstreet Boys sample. How does all this tie back to Diddy? Buckle up because it gets wild. Kanye West has alleged that Diddy threatened him on behalf of some unnamed powerful individuals, and one of those names reportedly linked to this group is Harley Patek. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Rumors are swirling that federal investigators are digging into claims that Diddy has been using poison as a method to silence people. And guess what? Aaron Carter, Kim Porter, and even Jamie Foxx, who barely survived his own ordeal, are all reportedly part of this investigation. But here's where it gets even more intriguing. Aaron Carter was reportedly sitting on some explosive secrets about Diddy. Sources suggest he was gearing up to expose a covert Hollywood ring allegedly led by powerful figures targeting young stars. Was Aaron about to connect Diddy to something massive, a revelation that could shatter his carefully crafted image? And more importantly, what really went down in Aaron's final moments? Aaron's life was anything but ordinary. After years of battling addiction and mental health issues, it seemed like he was on the verge of a breakthrough. But on November 5, 2022, everything came to a screeching halt. News broke that Aaron had been found unresponsive in his home, and he was declared dead at the scene. While his struggles were well documented, the circumstances of his death have left fans and investigators with more questions than answers. Was it just another tragic celebrity downfall, or is there something far more sinister lurking beneath the surface? I go on my Twitter and I see people saying, "You look like you have AIDS, you should go die." I don't understand how I dedicated 22 years of my life. At first most people thought Aaron had relapsed, maybe overdosed, or even taken his own life. The police didn't initially consider his death suspicious. However, over the past 2 years, some really strange and disturbing details have come to light about his last hours. The first police report said Aaron's housekeeper found his body in the bathtub, but the cause of death wasn't made public right away. An article from the LA Times published just 2 days after Aaron's death revealed that the LA County Coroner's Office did an autopsy, but officials said they were waiting on chemical tests to determine the cause. Normally it Takes a few weeks for a toxicology report to come back, but it wasn't until April 2023, 5 months later, that they finally released the results to the public. Tonight we're learning that singer Aaron Carter autopsy results are being deferred. This is while police investigate the 34-year-old's death from over the weekend. That's when the LA County Medical Examiner ruled Aaron's death as an accidental drowning caused by inhaling compressed gas. When this news first came out, most fans immediately linked it to Aaron's history with substance use, especially since for years headlines focused on his battles with addiction. Aaron had always been open about his struggles. On top of that, he also dealt with eating disorders and body shaming, and just a few years before he passed, he sought treatment for those issues. That's so skinny, and yeah, I'm still so skinny, and I don't you know I'm yes so, and that was the biggest one for me because of all of Aaron's mental health challenges. Some people speculated that he might have taken his own life, especially given his strained relationship with his family and the lack of a solid support system. But then things started to take a strange turn. A lot of fans online began to feel like something wasn't quite right with the official story. People started digging up old videos Aaron had posted in the days leading up to his death, and in many of them he talked about feeling unsafe in his home and being scared for his life. I had to go show off all the stuff my whole life that was going to be taken away from me. To add to the mystery, it was reported that Aaron's neighbors Anthony and Amanda Chauvel, who were both medically trained, tried to help after hearing a 911 call over a police scanner. Here's where things start to get really strange. Aaron's house sitter reportedly refused to let his neighbors Anthony and Amanda Chauvel inside to help. According to the Daily Mail, Amanda, who's a registered nurse, grabbed her defibrillator bag ready to assist, but when they got to the door, the house sitter told them she couldn't let them, and Amanda later mentioned that the woman actually locked the front door and they could hear her running away from it. Even more bizarre, when the police arrived just minutes later, the house sitter apparently tried to stop them from entering the house. A spokesman for Aaron told the U.S. Sun, "It is with great regret that I confirm Aaron Carter was found unresponsive this morning in his home in Palmdale, California. The family has been notified and will be flying out to Los Angeles." Aaron worked very hard towards the end of his life and recovery to be a good father and to make amends with his family. Unfortunately, without proper recovery facilities available in our country and open borders, this is why we have an epidemic. An eyewitness at the scene on Saturday afternoon local time said it was chaos with police cars and news vans along with neighbors standing around in the street. Devastated Melanie could be seen wiping away tears and hugging friends as she watched from the sidelines. Neighbor Tony Chabel, a local photojournalist, told the U.S. Sun, "I have a police scanner for work and heard the call come in that there was an unresponsive male in the bathtub. My wife is a nurse and we headed over and banged on the door. She had her AED automated external defibrillator with her. A woman answered the door and was screaming, 'He's dead,' but wouldn't let us in because she'd already called the cops." I spoke to Melanie afterward and she said it was his maid and questioned why she wouldn't let us in. Melanie drove up from Orange County. She was distraught. A second witness said his house sitter was seen looking shaken and spent time speaking with police inside before being escorted out with belongings and bags. They added the house sitter was the only person behind the police tape. For a long time, Melanie had to wait hours before police would even tell her anything, and she was desperate to see their mini pet dog still in the house. A close friend told the U.S. Sun that they believe Carter did not die by suicide. He had been planning studio sessions with artists next week in Los Angeles to lay down new tunes for an album. You've got to admit that's pretty sketchy. Why would she try to keep the police out, especially if there was a chance to save Aaron? But that's not all. Another theory revolves around Aaron's ex-fiancée Melanie Martin. About a year before Aaron's death, it was reported that Aaron broke up with Melanie after finding out she was conspiring with high